The morning sun spilled golden light across the rolling hills of Willow Creek Ranch, a vast Texas estate recently bought by billionaire tech mogul Carter Langston, a man as proud and powerful as the wild black stallion that now ruled his property. Midnight. The name alone stirred fear among ranch hands. An untamable beauty, jet black with fire in his eyes and thunder in his hooves. Imported from Argentina for an outrageous price, Midnight had thrown every rider who dared to approach. Carter didn't mind. He liked things fierce. The horse, like his companies, was meant to be owned, not understood. This Saturday, Carter had invited local trainers and equestrians to his ranch for a spectacle. He called it the Tame the Beast Challenge, half marketing stunt, half entertainment. Whoever could ride Midnight for 10 full seconds would walk away with $50,000. Trainers, cowboys, and even retired rodeo stars had tried. All had failed, some walked away limping, others in ambulances. And then she stepped forward. Small. Quiet. Seemingly invisible in a sea of boots and swagger. Emma Collins, 15 years old, wearing worn jeans, an oversized hoodie, and no boots, just bare feet pressing into the earth. Her eyes never met anyone's. She clutched a leather notebook to her chest like armor. The crowd whispered. Some snickered. She doesn't even talk much. Is she serious? Why is she even here? Carter leaned over the fence, amused. You lost, sweetheart, he asked, voice smooth with sarcasm. Midnight isn't a petting zoo pony. Emma didn't answer. She simply opened her notebook and showed the clipboard judge the parental consent and registration forms. Everything was in order. Carter laughed out loud. Well, this'll be good for a laugh. But Emma wasn't here for laughs. She was here for something deeper. Something she couldn't quite explain with words. Diagnosed with autism at age 4, Emma had always struggled in a world that didn't make room for her rhythm. School was overwhelming. Friends were few. But animals? They understood her. Horses especially. They didn't ask questions. They just listened. Emma slipped into the arena. Midnight was already pacing, restless and wary. He reared once, nostrils flaring, massive hooves striking the air. The crowd held its breath. Emma didn't run. She didn't raise her voice. She sat down. In the dust. Cross-legged. Silent. And she began to hum. A soft, slow melody. The same one her late grandfather used to hum while rocking her to sleep in the barn. At first, Midnight stayed distant, tail swishing, ears flat. But then, something changed. The great stallion paused. His ears flicked forward. His eyes softened, just slightly. He stepped forward, just one step, and then another. The crowd leaned in, unsure if they were witnessing magic or madness. Emma kept humming. When Midnight reached her, she gently raised her hand. He flinched, then lowered his massive head into her lap. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Emma closed her eyes and whispered, "You're not angry. You're scared. It's okay." It wasn't about dominance. It was about trust. The billionaire at the fence was no longer smirking. Carter removed his sunglasses, stunned. He'd spent a fortune trying to control that horse, and now a teenage girl, one he had mocked, had calmed him with nothing but presence. 10 minutes passed. Emma finally stood. Midnight followed. Not led by a rope. Not coerced. Just, following. She climbed onto his back, bareback, with the same quiet grace. The stallion didn't buck. He didn't bolt. He stood still. And then, she rode. Not a battle, not a performance, just harmony. Like two souls moving as one. The entire arena was silent. When Emma dismounted and walked back to the gate, Midnight stayed beside her. Not like a horse beside a trainer, but like a companion beside a friend. Carter met her at the gate, his voice quiet now. How did you do that? Emma shrugged softly. I listened. He paused. You didn't just tame my horse. You humbled me. That evening, the story went viral. Videos spread. Headlines read, Autistic teen calms untamable stallion, shocks billionaire owner. But Emma didn't care for fame. She just wanted Midnight to have a friend. The next week, Carter did something no one expected. He met with Emma's mother and set up a fund in Emma's name, the Emma Collins Foundation for Equine Therapy. Its mission? To build horse therapy centers for children with autism, sensory disorders, and trauma. Emma visited the ranch often after that. Not as a guest. As a consultant. Midnight became a therapy horse, the very symbol of healing, not fear. One morning, months later, Carter stood with Emma by the fence as kids in the therapy program laughed and brushed Midnight's coat. You changed my life, Emma, Carter said sincerely. I thought power came from control. But you showed me it comes from understanding. Emma smiled. And patience. He nodded. And patience. Sometimes, the world underestimates those who speak softly, but it's often the quietest voices that speak the loudest truths. Kindness isn't weakness. And understanding is the greatest form of strength. Never judge what you don't understand, because one act of empathy can tame even the wildest soul.